So let's talk about this, another very powerful concept of time versus value. But this will help you to keep your productivity at a very high level if you understand this concept very well. So many people will complain about time. I don't have time, I'm too busy. But this is the only thing people should not complain, because time is really uniformly distributed to everyone 24/7. Nobody has less, nobody has more. From a street worker to the CEO of Fortune 500 companies, all have the same time available, right? So why do we complain for time? Now, what is important actually is the value you create within a one-time unit. It is even doesn't matter what you earn, but what value do you create? In 1 hour, you could just spend watching TV or playing some games, or you could do some valuable, meaningful work, depending upon your own perspective. But that is where the things really make a difference for people. And usually, you are paid not for your time, but the value you create. And that is the reason that some people are paid like this, and some people are paid $5 an hour, and both may be happy or satisfied. Now, there is a lot of criticism or press publicity, negative publicity about the CEO's remuneration. Do you think really this is fake or this is unfair? Now, all these compensation at this level or even higher level, I think Tim Cook got his last year's compensation close to $250 million. Do you think this is not fair? Look, all these compensations have to be approved by the shareholders or board of directors, who are not stupid. They are paying this level of money for a reason. And the reason is that usually, with few exceptions, these people are able to create that level of value for the shareholders, for the business. Tim Cook is being paid $250 million for a reason. Recently, you heard about the compensation of the Google CEO and the Microsoft CEO, because these two young fellows are creating so much value for these companies. The Google and Microsoft both have crossed $1 trillion market cap under their CEOship. So this is the real, again, generally speaking, these are the real value these people are creating, and shareholders are happy and they are doing a fair job. Now, let's compare with the people who are earning $5. They may complain, but that is the value they create. If they create value, the people who are earning $5 an hour, can they create a $10 value and earn $10? Of course they can. Look at what you are earning. Maybe you're earning somewhere like, depending upon different people, $25 per hour to $100 per hour, right? More or less. Can you double it? Can you triple it? Of course you can. Can you make it 10 times? Of course you can make it. You only need to think how to create more value. And that is the crux of this program, how to create value for your customers. And your customers are not necessarily the customers who are buying product and services, but anyone you deal with, people around you. Your family is also your customer in a way. What value you are creating for your kids and family, or your friends, right? So the concept of time and value is very powerful. And it's not only about working hours. Think of your life. What value you are creating out of your life. I came across this quote, I liked it very much. Life is like a blank canvas. We are all born with a blank canvas of life. And it's up to us. What do we want to paint into it? Some people spend the whole life not painting anything on their blank canvas. And some people do so much they don't leave any space blank anymore. So God has given you a capacity in terms of the time 24/7. Everybody has the same. For example, you are given a blank check. That here is your blank check. You can write whatever you wanted, right? And some people create a high value. Some people keep the blank check with a very low value or no value. That's a mindset we need to develop. That a lot is in our hand, in our capacity. How do we create value within a given time? We should not complain for time, because you can complain time to the people, which is not true, not fair. You can only question yourself, what value are you creating within a given time? So here is another framework. This is mine. I call this work-life integration strategy. And it starts with the mindset. Look at the bottom. It's your mindset. This is what we are trying to develop here in this session. Trying to believe into some principles which will change our performance. So mindset, inner game, or beliefs lead to creating a change in your lifestyle, because we are all ambitious enough to become leaders, extraordinary leaders. So this is not for ordinary people. The world is divided into 90-10. You can say 80-20. I call it 90-10, which means that 10% are the leaders or the potential leaders, and 90% is the crowd. You are part of the 10%. That is why you are in this program, right? And you have to go further deep into it. This is what we are trying to do our journey together. You need to live a life of peak performance. Peak performance is again not workaholism, that you are working around the clock. Peak performance is about creating value. How could you create most value? Again, within given time. You cannot change the time, but how could you create more value? That's peak performance. And peak performance only takes place when there is work-life integration. And the two important capacities or capabilities we need to develop is personal branding and relationship and networking. To deal with the world, your knowledge, your experience, your expertise is secondary. How you deliver is more important than what you deliver. That is where your public leadership matters. And then with these tools and with this initial work on your public and personal leadership, you develop your expertise. Then you become a master level CFO or a CEO or a director or someone very exceptional. That's your strategic leadership. And it's all about creating influence. It's not about money. It's not about role. It's not about titles. It's all about influence. And you could see around the people who have a lot of influence and people who have no influence. Now, you will also find people who are sitting on the senior positions, are making a lot of money, and they have no influence. Those are exceptions, or those are short terms.